Alrighty, now since we talked about Thursday Night Football, we got to make our official picks for this week, folks. We reacted and predicted the Week 4 lines yesterday on the show, did pretty solid. We had 2 right on the money, but our thinking was kind of right on par with Vegas's for the most part. So we slept on the lines, we did our due diligence, and we're coming at you with 6 picks. Alrighty, last week we didn't do the greatest, folks. We went 3-3, but we're ready to get back on track this week, folks. This is a on-track week, so play along with us, and we'll make it worth your while. But here we go. Last week, we had the Ravens -8, and they were up, 17-0? That should have hit, but then, Marquise Brown couldn't catch anything for the rest of the game. So, unfortunate there. The Ravens win, but not by 8. We missed that one. Then we had the Titans -5. They win by 8-ish, 10-ish, something like that. Carson Wentz couldn't move the ball. We knew that. And the Titans win at home, no problem there, and cover the 5. Then we had the Rams +1.5. One of the bets that we are definitely proud in because, we know the Bucs are good, but we're telling you we are big on this Rams team. We have them as our number 1 team in our power rankings the entire season, and we put our money where our mouth was last week with the Rams +1.5 points, and they win outright by 10. We didn't even need the 1.5 extra there, folks. Fantastic. All right, then we had the Patriots -3. Mac Jones threw the ball 58 times. We were not expecting that. 51 times. We were not expecting that, and they could not move the ball. So the Patriots lose. Unfortunate. We had the Giants -3. We thought this would be the final, the week that the Giants offense comes alive. Fools on us. They were absolutely trash at home, so we wrote them off 100%. We will not be betting the Giants for the rest of the year. And then we had the Broncos -10.5. That hit. They shut out the Jets. No problem there. They win 26-0. So we hit the Broncos -10.5. And so that was good. So we went 3-3 officially last week. Pretty much 4-3 with that Ravens pick. Or 4-2. Should have been. Unfortunate. But this week we're coming at you with 6 more picks out here. And we're feeling real gosh dang confident in these, folks. So here we go. We do 6 picks every week. We do 3 in our locks category. These will hit 100%. We are feeling so gosh dang great about these. These are locks, folks. And then we have 3 picks in our 99% guarantee section where we feel so freaking confident about these picks. But we can potentially see maybe one thing that could potentially, possibly go wrong that maybe potentially hinders our bet a little bit. So we feel very good, and we're still going to be betting these and taking these, but there is potential risk here because of one thing that we will point out and talk about. So let's get to picking, baby. And we are going to make a Bucs Patriots pick that is not in our kind of locks or our official 6 picks, but this is the biggest game of the year, the biggest game of the decade, maybe the biggest game of my lifetime, potentially. I'm still a little young out here, so I still got a couple of years, but so far, this may be the biggest game that I have ever witnessed, so we gotta pick this game, folks, and I don't want to make it one of our picks here. We're not going to play it as like a bonus pick, but it's a separate pick that needs its own separate segment, I guess. So, 7 picks officially coming at you. So, let's get it going. Here we go. Let's start here with our locks category. 3 picks here. In our first pick in our lock category, we're going to go the Dallas Cowboys -4.5 points here. No Christian McCaffrey for this Panthers team. I think it's a bigger story, and I think it's going to hold a lot of weight in determining who's the winner of this game. The Panthers are also on the road, and this is their first true opponent here of the season. First 3 games, nothing great, but now they have to go out and beat this Cowboys team, and we are big, big, big believers in this Cowboys team. We just had our power rankings on Tuesday's show, and we have the Cowboys at number 3 in our power rankings. We are loving what we're seeing from them offensively, defensively, full of ball hawks. Dan Quinn is coaching the heck out of this Cowboys defense, and then we've got leaders all over this field, offensively, defensively, injured leaders. DeMarcus Lawrence is injured, but he's still leading on the sideline. Dak Prescott, backwards hat, Dak is leading on the sideline. Ezekiel Elliott is putting all the doubters on hush mode. Y'all thought Tony Pollard was better than me. Come on, give me a break. He had one good game, which is great. That's great for him, but I'm the number 1. I'm the workhorse. I'm the premier back out here. So he shut everybody up last week, getting it done in the running and the passing game. What was it? 2 touchdowns overall by the man, getting it done. blowing out the Eagles. Fantastic there. Now, this Panthers team, first real test, and why we're taking this game is because I don't believe that highly in the Panthers offense. Now, I like this Panthers defense. It's highly rated as one of the best defenses in the league. We can see this here. Let's go to this, the defensive stats here. They are kind of listed as the number 2 team. They've only given up 30 points. They gave up only 573 yards over 3 games. But this Cowboys offense is so much different. So we're taking the Cowboys minus 4.5 here, not because of the Panthers defense. We believe the Panthers defense is good, but so is this Cowboys defense. And I don't think Sam Darnold, without having that kind of safety blanket, Christian McCaffrey in the backfield to kind of bail him out. We talked about it. I mean, Christian McCaffrey was like the leading rusher and passer for kind of the first 2 games, and then unfortunately gets injured game 3, so he couldn't be the leading rusher and passer because he wasn't out on the field. So I think when they're going against a good defense on the road against their first true competition, what happens when Sam Darnold gets down? We saw him down, when he was playing for the Jets every single game because the Jets were trash and they didn't win any games and he didn't have great completion percentage. So when his back's against the wall, when he's down facing a great team on the road, how did Sam Darnold respond? So this pick, Cowboys minus 4.5, is not knocking the Panthers defense. I still think the Panthers defense will be solid. But I don't think the Panthers are going to be putting up that many points offensively, especially against this Cowboys defense that will take the ball away. If Sam Darnold is not 100% on the money, this Cowboys team is coming away with some takeaways, folks. So I'm taking the Cowboys minus 4.5. Cowboys at home. Dak Prescott at home. Come on. Panthers not ready to compete offensively just quite yet. We're taking the Cowboys minus 4.5. Alrighty, our next pick in our lock section is going to be the New Orleans Saints minus. Wow, and this one went up. Why are y'all betting this? Damn it, I didn't even tell y'all and you're already betting it. Dang it. But we just lost a half point of value here. We're taking the Saints minus 7.5. It was 7 when we were doing prep for the show. And then as we were talking for the last hour and 15 minutes, y'all were betting the Saints, which I like. Hey, we're on the same page, baby. Saints minus 7.5. I love it. This Giants team is so absolutely garbage, folks. Nobody wants to play. The offense is filled with skill players, and they're putting up 10, 17, 14 points a game. What are we doing out here? What are we doing? They're not even moving the ball. You can't even move the ball at home against the Falcons. Now you're going to move the ball on the road against the Saints defense and Saints team? I don't think so. And then the biggest storyline. This is such a huge storyline. I'm not sure if they're playing it in the media. But I'm telling y'all, having the fans back in the stands, first game back from Hurricane Ida, man, oh man, it's going to be electric in the Superdome, folks. Absolutely. And the Giants are just not going to be able to do anything offensively, defensively because of that raucous, roaring, crowd noise, party, celebration. And we're in the month of October, folks. Y'all know how October gets in New Orleans. They dress up every single day. They love the month of October. So we got the first game back from Hurricane Ida. We're in the month of October. The Saints are what? 2-1? That gets your team a little rowdy. Oh, we got a winning record. Oh, we're going against a bad team that we're kind of projected to win at. Oh, yeah, baby. Yeah. And they've been putting up points and moving the ball with Jameis Winston putting up like 140 yards a game. And they're still putting up like 20 points a game. How is that even mathematically possible? But they're doing it. And now Jameis Winston can let loose a little bit, let free a little bit, sling that ball around. I'm expecting 350 yards here by Jameis Winston. A big blowout here for the Saints. Saints minus 7.5, and the Giants are still trash come next week. The slow start offensively is still here. Nobody can do anything. Everybody's pointing the finger, and maybe Jason Garrett gets fired because they get blown out so bad. Saints minus 7.5. Lock in that value. I can only see this total keep going up, so lock it in when you can. Alrighty, and then our last pick in our lock section, we are taking the Broncos +1 over the Ravens. Alrighty, do I like this Ravens team? Well, I like Lamar Jackson, so I guess I would have to say I like this Ravens team because Lamar Jackson is the only person doing anything on this Ravens team. I'm sure y'all have seen the stat going around in the media on Twitter that Lamar Jackson is leading the league in yards per play, rushing the ball, and like yards per play, passing the ball. No player has ever done that because, quarterbacks don't run and running backs don't pass, but Lamar Jackson is literally their running back and quarterback, so that's why, and that's great. I'm not knocking Lamar Jackson. I'm knocking the entirety of the Ravens offense for not being as good or just as serviceable as needed for Lamar Jackson in this Ravens offense to put up points and kind of blow out teams. They barely squeaked out the win against the Lions last week. They barely squeaked out the win against the Chiefs 2 weeks ago, and then they lost in overtime against the Raiders week 1. So they're not blowing out teams. They're not looking kind of, flawless offensively. This is a bumpy, rocky Ravens offense because it's all dependent on one man. It's Lamar Jackson or nothing. The rushing attempt can't help him out. The wide receivers can't bail him out. Marquise Brown is dropping ball after ball after ball after ball that are wide open, and they're being thrown by Lamar Jackson. I mean, that's a pretty ball right there. So they're just not helping them out any. Now, the Ravens defense is solid. It's good. But now they have to come up to Mile High. Denver, first real opponent right here. And I really think they're ready to rock. Everybody's ready to rock. We just heard from Von Miller saying, hey, this is kind of like a playoff game for us. Nobody's kind of been giving us any credit for our first 3 wins. We've been taking care of business, and that's all we can control. This is all we can do. So we're ready to come out here and show you, hey, we can actually get it done against, one of the better teams, which y'all classify as a better team in this league, and we can go out there and get it done. So I believe in Teddy Bridgewater to get it done. I believe in the Broncos defense, and also here that kind of needs to be talked about here, the Ravens are the best rushing team in the league. And now they have to go up to Mile High. We just saw Zach Wilson and that Jets team struggle in Mile High in the higher altitude, harder to breathe. They didn't put up any points. So now this Ravens team that is predominantly rushing the ball effectively have to kind of run around here in Mile High. Maybe they're not there conditioning-wise. Lamar Jackson's missing a couple of days of practice this week. He also missed a couple of days of practice last week. So maybe his conditioning isn't up to 100% where it needs to be to play in Denver early on in the season, and I'm getting them plus a point. I'll take a little extra oomph, all right? I'll take a point. So, if the Broncos lose by 1, we don't lose the bet, we push, which obviously we would like to win, but a push is better than a loss. So we're going to take this Broncos team plus 1. I think they're ready to show that they are a true contender in this league, and I think the Ravens' conditioning is put to the test here offensively, and they can't keep up pace. So we're going to take the Broncos plus 1. So those are our 3 locks of the week, folks. Cowboys minus 4.5, Saints minus 7.5, and we're taking the Broncos plus 1. Alrighty, now let's talk about our 99% guarantees. We're feeling so confident about these, but we can see maybe one thing going wrong that hinders the bet. Potentially, possibly, maybe. So let's talk about these. All right, first game up in our 99% guarantee section. We're going to go the Lions plus 3, folks. This Lions team has no quit. Keep pounding. And that's Dan Campbell's mantra all day. Keep pounding, never giving up. They almost beat the Ravens last week. That was fantastic. Unfortunately, 66-yard field goal wins them the game. This Bears offense isn't anything special. And, forget the quarterback. We know that's kind of the biggest story here for this Bears team. Forget Nick Foles. Forget Justin Fields. Forget Andy Dalton. Just look at this Bears team without thinking about the quarterbacks. We got Darnell Mooney, Allen Robinson, David Montgomery, Cole Kmet. I mean, is this anything great? It's good tier 2 pieces, don't get me wrong, but I mean, they really have no A1 tier 1 piece over here. They're not moving the ball. They're not putting up the points. The offensive line is getting destroyed over and over and over again, and we kind of have to remember that this Lions team still has Jared Goff, and he's been proven kind of serviceable here to Detroit, able to move the ball when they need to. They go on these spurts where they're never quitting. Last week it was in the second half against the Ravens. 2 weeks ago it was like in the first half that they were competitive. Unfortunately didn't play great in the second half. But they have shown spurts that they will always stay in the game. They never get blown out. And if they can pressure Justin Fields, he's pretty much going to be starting again this week. I mean, this Lions team maybe gets a couple of turnovers, and this Bears team just cannot move the ball. I mean, how many points have they put up? Let's quickly see. What has this team done offensively this entire year? How many points have they put up so far? We get this Bears offense is ranked like 31 offensively. They put up 40 points so far, folks. 40 points. The only team that put up less points than the Bears through 3 games is the Jets, and that's granted because you got Zach Wilson. This Lions team even put up 67 points. So this Lions team is able to move the ball and score the ball better than what this Bears team can do. So this Lions team kind of got, a bad rap last week because, probably should have called the delay of game, probably should have called that moves them out of field goal range. They lose on a 66 record-setting yard field goal. How unfortunate. So this Lions team, they're chomping at the bit to get their first win. We just saw what the Jaguars were doing last night when they were looking for their first win. Really competitive. I'm taking the Lions plus 3 points here. Dan Campbell has this game close, and maybe they lose, but we're getting the 3 here. We feel real confident about that. Lions plus 3. Alrighty. Next game here that we're going to take in our 99% guarantee section is the Chiefs minus 6.5. The Chiefs, they've lost the last 2 games. They lost at home. They lost to the Ravens. They don't want to lose at either of those games. I mean, Patrick Mahomes had kind of the monopoly on Lamar Jackson, and now Lamar Jackson got a little bit of real estate in that kind of discussion of, who's the better younger quarterback. And then they just lost at home. The Chiefs don't lose at home, folks. Come on. So 2 big bad losses here for the Chiefs, and now they're heading into this Eagles team that is struggling to move the ball and put up points. That's not the Chiefs' struggles. The Chiefs aren't losing these games because they're not putting up any points. They're losing these last 2 games because they're turning the ball over. We had Patrick Mahomes throwing, an interception, and then Clyde Edwards-Helaire fumbling against the Chargers, and then we had everybody turning the ball over last week. Clyde Edwards-Helaire fumbling again, Tyreek Hill fumbling uncharacteristically, Patrick Mahomes throwing 2 interceptions. So they are shooting themselves in the foot, and they're still losing close. They had like 6 turnovers these last 2 weeks, and I think they lost by a combined 8 points over that. 6 turnovers, and you're only losing by 8 points. Let's get the exact totals up here. So against the Ravens, they lose by 1. They lose by 1 point against the Ravens, and then last week they lose against the Chargers by 6. So they lose by 7 points off of 6 turnovers. Name me another team that does that. Only Tom Brady can do that. And we just saw that literally last year. He wasn't losing the game. He was actively turning over the ball and winning the games in the playoffs. How crazy. So there's only this Chiefs team. They're not going to continue to turn over the ball unless they do. And that's why we have it in our 99% guarantee category. Because if they turn over the ball, then yeah, they probably won't win. But are they going to still turn over the ball? I mean, this is so uncharacteristic. And we know usually Andy Reid runs a real tight ship. We really should not be expecting anybody to be fumbling or turning over the ball. The Chiefs are 1-2. Backs kind of against the wall. That's their attitude. I think Patrick Mahomes kind of said it. Hey, our backs are against the wall in this game. So they know the pressure's on. They know that this is an easier Eagles team. They just got blown out by the Cowboys. The Eagles kind of overall look of what they are is kind of in jeopardy and question this week. Deshaun Watson news is making kind of the headlines again, which I don't really put that much weight into. I don't know why everybody's bailing on quarterbacks. This is such a weird year. I don't get it. I don't know if it's because Deshaun Watson is still up for grabs or if it was because we got so spoiled with the rookie quarterback level of play last year, but everybody's ready to move off of these quarterbacks, and I mean everybody. I'm talking fans. I'm talking media personalities, the major sports people. I've never seen everybody everybody collectively be on the same page of get rid of these quarterbacks. And it's not just one team. People are ready to get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo for Trey Lance. I wouldn't do that. People are ready to get rid of Jalen Hurts after he's only started like 5-6 games in this league for Deshaun Watson. I'm like, what is going on here? People are just going crazy with the quarterbacks now. So maybe that kind of narrative, and Jalen Hurts is seeing what his own fans are saying and what people in the sports media world are saying. So maybe he's taking that to heart, try to do a little bit too much, and that's kind of what we've seen by Jalen Hurts, why this Eagles team has struggled over the last 2 weeks, not able to kind of score in the red zone, turning over the ball, not sustaining drives. So this Chiefs team's backs against the wall. This Eagles team, they are still having trouble scoring the ball. It's not, like we just said, it's not the Chiefs unable to score the ball of why they're losing. That's why the Eagles are losing. They can't really score the ball. They're not getting it done in the red zone. So this Chiefs defense ready to play kind of lights out. The offense ready to not turn over the ball. And it's just an unfortunate time for this Eagles team to be facing the Chiefs. Chiefs backs against the wall with Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, I'll take that. Chiefs minus 6.5. Alrighty, and then our last pick in our 99% guarantee section, we are going to take the Browns -2. Did y'all just see that Browns defense last week? I know it was against the Bears and that bad offensive line and a rookie quarterback, but 9 sacks is still 9 sacks. How can you snarl at 9 sacks? How can you snarl at Myles Garrett getting off the edge and having 4.5 sacks himself? I mean, that's great, folks. I don't care who it's against. I don't care if it's against a college team. I'm still taking 9 sacks. So we know this Browns defense is great, and Baker Mayfield honestly played maybe his worst game of the season last week, and they were still able to win and look pretty solid and put up the points and win the game pretty convincingly. And that was Baker Mayfield's worst game of the season. Yeah, he didn't throw an interception, but he had like his worst completion percentage. So he wasn't accurate or efficient, but he was still getting it done because of the defense. So we know this Browns team is, I kind of classified it as one of the most complete teams in the league, folks. And I'm talking about maybe a little bit more complete than that Rams team. It's kind of crazy. This is what this Browns team is. Kevin Stefanski, I give that man so much credit for calling the games and plays exactly how they need to be called and played for Baker Mayfield to have success. Now, why we put this in our 99% guarantee section is because they're going against the Vikings. We don't know what the freak the Vikings are, folks. They play great, they lose. They play great, they win. It doesn't matter. And now we're talking about a potential Dalvin Cook out. How is Alexander Madison going to play? He played very well last week, but is that a one-hit wonder, or is he going to be able to get it done? I don't know if I want to bet on that if he has to go against this Browns defense. So, this Browns team going on the road against the Vikings, they're clearly the better team. Kevin Stefanski will scheme and call the game exactly how it is needed to be played and called here for the Browns to have success. They also went for it on 4th down a couple of times last week, why they kind of got out to a slow start. So expect that to kind of, not be a problem this week. And I just can't get behind this Vikings team, folks. Yes, they're coming off a win, but we know what this Vikings team is. It doesn't matter. They have that clutch or that unclutched turnover at most of their games. And this Browns defense, 9 sacks, that's definitely going to lead to potentially some turnovers. So Vikings, they like to give the game away at the worst time. No potential Dalvin Cook. This Browns team rocking and roaring, and the offense right there, the best tandem running back duo in the league by far. Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb, run, pass. The Vikings aren't going to be able to keep up scoring pace, and if they try to keep up scoring pace with this Browns team, the Browns offense is going to shut it down quick. So we're going to swallow the 2 here with the Browns on the road. Browns -2. So our 99% guarantees are Detroit plus 3.5, Chiefs -6.5, and the Browns -2. Alrighty, now let's do our special Bucks, Patriots, Brady versus Bill, Sunday Night Football, Foxborough bet here, folks. So, here we go. Bucks, Patriots, we're taking the Patriots -7. Folks, we said this when we were predicting the line yesterday. Take Bill and Brady out of this game. What do you get? You get Super Bowl champions versus a rookie quarterback proven nothing. What do you go with on just that? I'm taking the Bucs -7. This offense is so talented. I mean, just look at the offenses compared. Take Tom out of the equation. I don't care. We got this Bucs offense, elite filled of weapons. Mike Evans, AB, Rob Gronkowski, Cameron Braid, Chris Godwin, folks. And then we got Leonard Fournette in the backfield and Ronald Jones in the backfield. I mean, folks, we're talking about piece after piece after piece after piece. And then with the Patriots, what are we talking about? Nelson Aguilar, Hunter Henry, Damian Harris, the running back. No James White anymore because he's injured. So lackluster tier 2 pieces everywhere with rookie quarterback Mac Jones. We're going to believe in that. We're going to believe in that. They just couldn't move the ball at home last week against the Saints defense. Couldn't move the ball, non-competitive. So now add Tom Brady and Bill into the mix here. We get Tom Brady. We know he wants to win this game. This is a huge game. We know he's playing it cool as a cucumber out there. No, this is just a normal game. Pressure. Oh, Bill? Okay, yeah, we played a couple of games together. I don't know why y'all are harping on that. So Tom Brady knows he needs to go out there and perform well. He just came off of a loss on the road against the Rams, another game he probably should have been a little bit more competitive in, a huge game that he knows he needed to win. So is he going to lose back-to-back must-win games here? I don't think so. And then let's talk about this Bucs defense. Great defense, especially against, a tier 2 team like this Patriots team is. And we know, Tampa Bay, everybody kind of thanks Tom Brady for bringing them to Tampa Bay and helping them win kind of their first ring. So you don't think this Bucs defense is going to kind of step it up and kind of be like, all right, Tom, thanks for kind of giving us the rings. It's time to us kind of repay you a little bit. We know how much this game means to you. We're going to go and shut down Mac Jones and sack him 9 times like the Browns defense just did against Justin Fields last week. So everything in the Bucs, they're just clear-cut better than this Patriots team. Now the Patriots are at home and they have Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick obviously knows what Tom Brady does well. They spent their entire lives together. They know each other. Bill Belichick was going against Tom Brady in practice and all that. We know Bill Belichick is in charge of the defense. So he's going to have the game plan, the scheme to beat Tom Brady. But don't you think Tom Brady knows what Bill Belichick's going to throw to him? The chess match, they each know what they're going to do. Tom Brady knows what Bill Belichick is going to do on defense. Bill Belichick knows what Tom Brady's going to do on offense. But Tom Brady knows what Bill Belichick is going to do or thinks Tom Brady's going to do. So he's going to try and do something that goes against what that does. And then Bill Belichick is thinking, well, Tom Brady knows what I'm going to do because he knows that I know he knows what he's going to do. So I'm going to kind of throw him off balance a little bit by doing this because he wouldn't be expecting it. And then maybe Tom Brady's like, hey, I know Bill knows that I know that he knows that I know what he's going to do. And Bill knows that I know that I'm going to kind of go around and kind of outswindle him because I know what he knows that what I know what he knows and he knows what we know and we know what we knows and he knows what I know and I know what he knows that he knows that I know that I know that he knows and all this. So who's going to be playing 40, 50, 60, 70, 80? Who's going to 9 dimensions of chess out here? Tom Brady or Bill Belichick? I don't even think it gets that far because it's the Bucs defense absolutely shutting down this Patriots offense. I'm going to put this out there. I don't think this Patriots team puts up more than 10 points. I don't think this is a close game. Everybody in the media is hyping up this as a close game. I don't know if they truly believe that or if they're just trying to, hype up how big this game actually is. You can't just say this is going to be a blowout game because this is going to be one of the biggest games in NFL history. You have to hype it up. You have to build it up. But honestly, I got nothing. I got nothing to gain here by, hyping it up or anything like that. I honestly think this is a big old blowout. I think the Bucs win by 20 plus points. I don't think the Patriots put up more than 10 points, and it's Tom Brady getting the last laugh over Bill Belichick. I'm taking the Bucs -7, folks. Non-competitive game. I'm not buying into the hype. Non-competitive game. Bucs win it by 20. We'll take them -7.